Hi, I'm Jasmine again. And in this video, we're going to talk about Lochia. We're going to talk about Lochia, birth pains, and just Lochia and birth pains for now. But before we get into that, let's talk about postpartum Pitocin protocol in regards to vaginal delivery and C-sections. Um, Pitocin or oxytocin is used in vaginal and C-section births to prevent hemorrhaging. Okay. Um, ooh, goodness gracious. Uh, so what happens is that oxytocin, excuse me, and I ripped my page. Oxytocin stimulates your myometrium to contract, right? And when it does that, it restricts blood supply. Okay. Oxytocin is one of the first line of treatments for hemorrhaging. And as we get into Loki, I'll talk a little bit more about blood. But C-section women are at a high risk of postpartum hemorrhaging. Vaginal women are too. Um, so, but C-section women so much so more that they might extend the oxytocin 4 hours, greater than 4 hours, to help get that uterus to start involution, and that's because you have a cut from your abdomen that has caused trauma into your uterus that is also inhibiting from it from contracting down. And when you think about it, your placenta left a big gaping hole that increase your risk of bleeding if it's not doing it properly. Your being on, let's say you had an emergency C-section, you had general anesthesia, risk for bleeding. Uh, Epidural, you have some type of condition like a really bad preeclampsia or HELP, can cause bleeding, so they're going to give oxytocin. So they're at a very greater, higher risk, C-section moms, for bleeding. Um, and the nursing actions for that, we want to make sure we monitor all her vital signs. We want to make sure we know what color her lochia is. We want to make sure we weigh the lochia, make sure we only see small clots, not large ones. Um, and we want to assess her neurological status. And when we get into postpartum medications, we're going to talk about water intoxication with oxytocin too. It makes you retain water. Uh, Another thing that oxytocin does is that it causes anuria, headaches. Let me think. And drowsiness, but more so, it does cause urinary cramping. Okay. So now let's get into the meat of this video. Lochia. Okay. So Lochia is blood. Basically, that's what it is. Okay. It is the type of blood after you give birth. Okay. Now let's put this up a little bit. Being so crooked. Okay. So let's talk about this. So the first thing I have in here is, although C-sections and vaginal births, they have a different amount of blood that they lose, but the lochia is the same. It doesn't matter if they cut the baby out the stomach or, yeah, the stomach, no, not the stomach, the uterus. They're still gonna bleed the same on their pad, so they still have to go through these certain phases, and we get into in a minute. So what is it? Your lochia is just vaginal discharge after giving birth to the baby. Your endometrium is shedding its lining, okay, and all this stuff is coming out, okay. And during this time, you should be involuting, as in your body should be still contracting, um, to get the uterus back down into a pelvic organ. Um, Now, characteristics of lochia depend on the day, uh, but you should not pass any large clots. Period. Okay. And another big thing is that it shouldn't be foul smelling. It should smell fleshy and shouldn't smell like a dead cat or something disgusting. Okay. It should just smell like skin. You know. Now, ways that lochia is increased. One of the big things how lochia is increased is breastfeeding. Uh, Another reason is increased is if you're sitting too much or if you're standing too much. Um, Now, let me make sure I'm doing all the things that she mentioned. Okay. Uh, and ways that lochia is decreased. Okay, let's think about this. If she's day two postpartum, it says her uterus and it's a little boggy. Boggy as in it's like a Nerf ball. It's not like a soft. And um, your massages may not be working. And yesterday, she was rubra. This is only day two, so she should be rubra. I'm going to get into what rubra is in a minute. And she's no longer rubra on her pad. Uh, and you turn her over, and you still don't see any blood. That means that she has a clot somewhere, and we need to. This is an emergency now. We need to figure out where that clot is coming from, because maybe when which they gave birth vaginally, um, didn't take out everything, or maybe he perforated something, or especially when you use instruments. So you just never know. So if she's not bleeding, that is a red flag that she may have a clot. And after she's only in the hospital for 2 to 3 days. So after that rubra period, which rubra is 2 to 3 days, the blood, I'm gonna get into it now. So let me stop. So it's decreased due to a clot. There's a clot somewhere. Okay. We need to fix it. Now with rubra is the time frame is 1 to 3 days. Okay. And the characteristics of rubra is that it's dark blood. It's dark blood. It smells a little fleshy, but doesn't smell horrible. It's stale blood. Yeah, and it lasts for 1 to 3 days. Cirrhosa lasts from 4 to 10 days. This blood is brown. Let me write it in here. Pink, signifying that it's old blood. Okay, and what did I say should happen at day 10? Day 10, uh, you should not feel the uterus anymore. Okay, this cirrhosis should never go back to rubra. Okay, these all should go through a steady decline. Okay, that's what we want. We don't want it to go back. Okay, with alba is 11 and 21 days, and this blood is like yellow, white, tingy sort of kind of blood. Now, like I said, this should never go backwards, and it should never smell foul. It should always smell fleshy. For these, this is 4, 10. This is 1, 3. And uh if it does, then that's a problem. If they smell not fleshy. Now in the hospital, I know if the nurse sees a clot, we have to weigh it. And we have to keep them and weigh them because they should be in less, not heavier. If she sats more than one pad an hour, that's a problem. we need to figure out what's going on. Uh, if I missed anything. Okay, so how do we know her rubra, or they have some type of let me start over. If it is deviating, okay. If she passes large clots, if she saturates more than one pad in an hour, that's a problem. Um, if she still has rubra after day 4, that's a problem. And during her elbow period, if it's bright red and it's not pink, that's also a problem. Um, Afterbirth pains. Let's talk about afterbirth pains now. Where's Mama? Afterbirth pains. Afterbirth pains are cramps. Okay, this is the short one. They are cramps. Okay, they are cramps, and they're from a mom who has had multiple pregnancies. Mostly second term moms, not first term moms. I think I mentioned in another video that most first time moms won't feel this cramping, but second time moms will. Like she'll come and she'll be like, during my first pregnancy, I never had this pain, but now I have this pain. Why do I have this pain? She has this pain because this is her second child, and it takes more effort for the uterus to go constrict. Okay, so cramps caused by multiparity. I'll do and so how do we treat this? Morphine is often usually scheduled, okay? But we can give ibuprofen and naproxen, which we're going to go into with postpartum medication. I'm going to write it down, after pain. So the treatment for after pain is Motrin, ibuprofen, naproxen. Now, one thing that really would like for everyone, for us to remember is that ibuprofen and naproxen, do not give them together, okay? And I'll go into that in another video. But for afterbirth pains, the treatments are Motrin, ibuprofen, and naproxen. Oh gosh, I spelled it wrong. Naproxen. And you do not give the naproxen with ibuprofen. And that's it for this video. Hope you like that. Bye.